Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Primrose, and what you'll see is all of her skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, her skill combos, her enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I give you the class Primrose. Here we go. And welcome to the skills page. So if you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface to you. On the far left is all of her skills. The next column, charges, is how many times you can use that skill. The next column after that is hits. That's how many times the skill will hit a creature or opponent you're fighting. The next column, damage-PVE, is the highest percentage damage that it will do against a creature in the world. And the next column, damage-PVP, is the highest percentage damage it'll do against another player's character. And then finally, the specials on the far right, which are connected to all the skills, and the passive skill on the very bottom. So one thing I could tell you right off the bat is that the reason that the skills are colored in blue is because they connect to the passive, which I will talk about a little bit later. But first off, the super armor that's colored in red, it just means it's not applied in arena, but everywhere else in the game it is. And she has, under her standard attack, the Spear Mastery, that's the third one from the bottom. It says max 3 attacks, so that is something for you to discover and check out what that means. When I checked the skill out, it looks like she just attacks once, so something to bring to your attention when you are checking her out. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to the top 8 PvE skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvE slide. So what I've done is I've taken all of the skills and I've organized it under the column of damage-PVE. It's from the highest percentage damage all the way down. There's a lot to cover here, so I'm going to just choose this part right here. In the game, you're allowed to take 8 skills, and I normally highlight those skills in green, but if you count it, there are 7 skills. And the reason for that is the hits column. If you look at Midnight Requiem, Moonrise, and Infinistab, those are colored gray because if you connect with all 4 hits of Midnight Requiem, that's 1980% damage, which puts it at second place in highest of damage. And then if you connect with all 8 hits of Infinistab, the one that's colored blue, that is the highest damaging skill that you have, but it's dependent that you connect with all 8 hits. So that is the reason why they're gray. So to not confuse, what I would suggest is when you're choosing this character, select all 7 of the ones that are green and get to know them, get to see how they work, and then the 8th skill you choose from one of the gray options. I would suggest Infinistab because it connects to your passive, and you'll have both of them that connect to the passive. But it's up to you. I wanted you to see that, and this is something new I'm considering for all of the character profile videos, is to show you the potential if you connect with all of the hits that it says, how much damage output would that be? So take a look at this, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend, and there'll be a little bit more to talk about, so I will see you there. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP slide. So just like PvE, I took all of the skills and I organized it according to the column of damage-PVP. And the highest skill percentage that you have is absolute 0. So looking at it, the same applies for the PvP. If you take the 3 skills that are colored in gray and you connect with all of them, then it changes the dynamic of what you should have as your 8 skills. So what I'm saying is Absolute Zero, yes. Frost Halo, yes. Petal Ward, yes. Glacial Wall, yes. Now, Cold Snap, Relentless Strike, and Frigid Burst are iffy, but you need Cold Snap because it has super armor if you're in Arena, so that has to stay. So now it's down to Relentless Strike and Frigid Burst. And then looking at the 3 gray ones, it'd be like, well, that's a no-brainer. I'm gonna pick Infinistab because it's connected to the passive, and I got 1 more left. So it's either Midnight Requiem or Moonrise, or I want to stick with Frigid Burst because it has super armor. And I mean, these other 2 have something to offer. So what I'm suggesting is start with the stuff that's highlighted in green, but be aware of wanting to move the skills that are colored in gray into your rotation, but just don't lose using super armor. Now, getting to the passive, I can talk about the passive all day. The short version is, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding with the description of your passive for Frostflower. For example, the description after passive says enhance effects for decrease attack speed and decrease move speed. Yeah, I think that's a bug, but I hope that's what happens when you hit someone with your passive. And the other one, everything is clear except for apply additional effects when using Infinistab and Absolute Zero. What does additional effects mean? I don't have a clear answer for you. It's for you to try and figure out and find out. But I believe that this passive and the description and everything needed a little more work so that you know what you're in for. But take a moment to look at this. When you're ready, we're going to move on to Primrose's skill combo slide. And here we go. And welcome to the skill combo slide. So the way this works is if you're in the game and you tap on your skills tab, and then you go all the way over to the left and down, you'll see an icon that looks like a magnifying glass, and you tap on that and it'll bring this up, a list of skill combos. And what this is it's skills that Pearl Abyss recommends you can do if you're stuck on how to chain skills together. So that's the whole purpose of this. And let's take one as an example. As a matter of fact, let's take the first one, top left corner, Frigid Burst. So if you do the skill Frigid Burst, they're suggesting to then do Absolute Zero. And then what you could do is move into an evasion, which is the bottom right corner. You tap on that and your character evades. And then they're saying you can do Infinistab, Cold Snap, oh look, Frigid Burst. You can evade, do Frigid Burst, and then Absolute Zero, and there it is. 1, 2, evade, and back to Frigid Burst. So this is how you look at it to chain a list of skills together to get a good combination going on. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the enhancements for Primrose. Here we go. And welcome to the enhancement slide. So there's a few things to mention on here, but first, if you're new and you don't know what you're looking at, allow me to introduce the interface to you. On the far left are all of her skills. On the far right are all of the branch damage that connects to these skills, and in the center is 4 columns. The first, second, and fourth, I make things that help you and do things for you. The third column is things that happen against the creature or opponent you're fighting. Now, it always doesn't turn out that way, where sometimes I need space, but that is the general layout, and there's so much more to cover here. First of all, let's go with, at the very top, Absolute Zero, then look all the way over to the right where it says heal. The word heal is colored differently, meaning that this does not happen in Path of Glory. So she'll heal when you use Absolute Zero anywhere else, but not in Path of Glory. So that's what that means. And look at the skills, and about in the middle where it says Glacial Wall, the SA means super armor, and that is of course not applied in arena, so that's why that's colored red. But I don't want you to be confused and say, well, what does Petal Ward and Midnight Requiem mean? I'm now going to explain that. I color that red to bring it out to your attention. There's something special about these two skills, and let's do the easier of the two. Midnight Requiem. It is a AoE attack, and what they're doing when you unlock, now all of these things need to be unlocked, but when you do unlock, the targets change from 1 to 2. This means that your AoE will affect 2 people, and I know that an AoE is supposed to affect multiple people, but for some reason this one only originally targets one creature or person you're fighting, but you have the chance to have it affect 2. So this is very important in many of the guild wars and other things that you're doing in the game. Now, Petal Ward. This one is, I can understand why Lotus is so beefy. They did the same thing to Primrose. She's got so much to offer, and I'm going to cover it more on the player card slide, but she has 5 enhancements. And what's important about this is if you look at the first column where it says flow 200%, look below it where it says after first hit, forward guard changes to super armor. Now, I'm going to point this out on the player cards slide, but if you unlock that and make your forward guard into a super armor, that changes things in the PvP arena. Your super armor is now a stronger skill, and you don't have to do cold snap, you can do Petal Ward. So that's why I highlighted it in red. I want you to be aware of this unlock, which will benefit you in PvP. So looking at everything else that she has, it's just stacked. I mean, wow. There's lots of bleeds, lots of flows. If you don't know what flow is, it's another skill that you unlock on top of the original. So you got 2 skills damaging your opponent or creature. And she's got range, and even the 4th column are skill cooldowns, so she'll become faster. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we will move on to the player card where I will show you all of this summed up. Here we go. And welcome to the player card screen. So what you're looking at if you're new is all the screens that you saw before summed up on one screen. And there's one thing on here that's new, but it's like a baseball card. If you're short on time, you can come here and check her out and then come back and enjoy the whole video to hear the details about it. So I really enjoy these player cards. It's a way for you to print them out, compare, and see which ones you like. Now, let's go ahead and introduce the interface to you. At the very top are the top 7, not 8, PVE and PVP skills that I recommend. To the right of that is something new. It's called immobilization. So anytime that you do stun, knockdown, freeze, anything that immobilizes your opponent, it's listed. Do you have it in green? Yes, you do. If you don't, it's red. And how many immobilizations do you have? And I gotta say, I believe I'm right, but she has the most immobilizations, for 2 of them being in one skill. Stab, Frigid Burst, and Cold Snap has 2 immobilizations. Oh my gosh. She is truly a advanced, complex, very strong character to consider choosing, and like her twin sister Lotus, who has a lot of stuff packed in as well, she is more like the strength and Lotus is more like the speed, but they both have the talent and everything packed in them so that you have options on what you want to do. If you look below the immobilization section is the skills, and then the enhancements below that. And at the very bottom, if you're wondering, well, I don't know what forward guard or super armor means, I provided the definitions for you. Forward guard means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. And super armor, this means that incoming damage will be reduced and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. For all the people that PvP, this is vital. They pick something for super armor and they put it in their rotation of skills. So it's hit you, super armor, or start out super armor, hit you, super armor again, and they keep at it. So they know that they're protecting themselves from being immobilized as well. Now, I did mention earlier that in the enhancement section to pay attention to Petal Ward. If you unlock in Petal Ward, the forward guard changes to super armor, then that means that Petal Ward is, if you're looking at the very top under damage-PVP, it does 1320% damage, and Cold Snap, which I recommended, it's your super armor, so you gotta start somewhere, is at 768. That changes everything. So if you're a PvP person, I highly recommend you get started and unlock Petal Ward for the forward guard to super armor, so in arena you can unlock your super armor and use it with Petal Ward instead of Cold Snap. So this is how you would look at this page, but overall she is just incredibly strong, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they all stack up in strength, but that's another video for another time. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, the music is gonna change, and we will go on to the gameplay video where we will show you Primrose in action. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. But before we begin, let's show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we are at Kron Castle entrance, and we're here because why not? Their CP is 2519 and our CP is 4242. She'll be good. So the way that this works is I have an auto path that we select. She'll fight for about 2-3 minutes, and at which time we'll go to town and I can give my outro and say thank you. So without further ado, I give you the class Primrose. Here we go. just about ready to head back to town. There we go. Just tap on that. So while the loading screen is coming up, allow me to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, let people know. I'm always making more videos and I'm happy to do it. So what we're gonna do is a little trick of the camera so we could showcase Primrose. And move the camera there, and there we go. Zooms in. And now you can get a nice view of that wonderful spear weapon that she has. Very deadly. Oh, hey, that's cool. She's saying goodbye. So once again, thank you. Thank you very much for enjoying this video. And you have yourself a great day. Take care. Bye now.